I think that's the last day of this case.
Nick?
Yeah?
Did you know that Von Karma's daughter is only 18, just like me?
In Germany that is legal. And I mean fully legal. Yeah? Why?
I was just thinking about how strong she is. I mean, she's been in Germany all this time all by herself, and she's so grown up.
Yeah, and I'm sure she felt a lot of pressure from her father's reputation.
And then you look at me and, well...
Yeah, you're not very grown up, you're not that beautiful, you're not that mature. I can see why you would feel inferior to Franziska.
I'm the daughter of the master, but I'm still just a little girl. And on top of that, I'm the suspect in a murder trial.
But I think you're really strong too, Maya, for all you've gone through.
Good morning. The two of you look like you're doing well today. I'm happy for you.
Yeah, Maya's doing so well today she's gonna break down into tears in a few seconds.
Hey! Morning, Pearly. You'll be safe today, Mystic Maya. Huh? What do you mean? My mother's coming today to show her support. Yeah, that's right, Pearly.
Hey, Pearls.
Yes, Mr. Nick?
Do you think you could do me a big favor? Could you channel Mia today, too?
I was sort of hoping to sit in the audience today and watch.
Please, it's very important to me. I don't feel confident enough without her help. Okay, I know why he's actually doing it, but that is such a pussy way of admitting that you lack balls.
Mr. Nick, that's enough. You can't show weakness in front of the person you love.
No, see, honey, I know you have a fairy tale idea about romance, but the fact that you can show your weakness in front of the person you love shows that you trust them enough to show your weakness, and that you don't have to pretend to be strong. That's very important. If you can just be yourself with all your flaws with the person you love, and they accept you like that, it's great. If they don't, then you should leave them.
Pearly! Not this again.
Please, could you do this for us, Pearls?
Alright, I'll do it. I'll do it for Mystic Maya's sake. See you later then. I'll leave you two to your alone time.
I'm disgusted. Thank goodness.
Nick?
This way, Pearls won't be able to see today's trial.
What do you mean? What's going on?
Yeah, I'm not gonna answer. Court is now in session for the trial of Maya Fey. The defense is ready, Your Honor.
Let's start already. Mr. Phoenix Wright, I look forward to tonight's news with great joy.
My brain is still a bit on the slow side.
The image of your defeated face will be transmitted all over the world.
All over the world, huh? Sounds like you've made quite a name of yourself, Phoenix.
Don't be foolish, you foolish fool wearing the foolishly foolish clothes.
As much as I like Japanese clothing, Franziska's outfit is pretty kick-ass.
The famous one is me. I'm the prodigy who has never lost a case since becoming a prosecutor 5 years ago.
That's nothing compared to your father in his 40 years.
Naturally, the world's eyes are on me as I conduct my first trial in this country.
Uh-huh. That's nice, Miss Von Karma. Glad to see you're in such good spirits today, Miss Fey. This is a good question. So people do notice that they are channeling someone who looks vastly different, but nobody really ever comments that the little girl just disappeared? It's true what they say. Women really are scary when they fight. Yes, we are.
Now then, a very interesting theory was presented during yesterday's session.
I'm getting a sudden migraine. I'm pretty sure it's not the game right now.
That the defendant could have left the channeling chamber, correct?
Yes. And this key is proof of that.
Your Honor, I would like to say one thing before we begin.
Alright, let's hear it.
The prosecution has determined that from the time of the murder to the time of arrest, the defendant did indeed leave the room at one point.
What?
But, Miss Van Karma, then how do you explain this picture? Are you saying then that the person in this picture is not the defendant?
I never said that wasn't the defendant.
Then what is the meaning of this?
All I am saying is that Maya Fey, after killing the victim, exited the room. And I believe that this is when she dropped the key.
She dropped it in an incinerator. Because she went there.
Can you substantiate your claim?
Isn't that what I'm here for? The prosecution would like to call the defendant's aunt, Morgan Fey, to the stand.
Just as I suspected. Aunt Morgan. Poor Mia. She seems really torn by this. Yeah, she's so torn her boobs are about to fall out. No wait, maybe that's just the tiny clothes she's wearing.
Witness, name and occupation.
My name is Morgan Fey, and I am a spirit medium in a manner of speaking.
I'm sorry, but what do you mean in the matter of speaking? Ah!
I don't think anyone really cares. Now then, after the murder took place, you kept watch over the defendant, correct?
Yes, that is correct. I performed the spirit severing technique on Mystic Maya then.
Spirit severing technique?
A technique to remove a spirit from a body and send it back to the other world. That is...
Yes, that is.
You be quiet. Now witness. Something happened while you were performing this technique, correct?
Yes, that is correct. What in the world could have... Mystic Maya, she escaped from the room.
What?
And here we come to the heart of the matter. Maya Fey, while in a possessed state, managed to escape from the channeling chamber.
Order! 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 Miss Fey, please testify to the code what happened during that time.
Your Honor, I will try my best. I think someone just upped the ante on this trial. After we heard the gunshots, those two broke the door open and entered the chamber. I requested that Mr. Wright and the other lady please contact the police. A pistol was hanging from Mystic Maya's hand, and she was in a daze. I can't say she picked a pistol up because she already had a pistol in her hand, but once again, the connection of being in a daze and pistol has been established in the Ace Attorney games. I'm glad that my running joke is actually canon. Then, quite suddenly, she thrusted me away from herself and escaped from the room. With great strength, she hit the base of my neck, and I fainted for a short while. I'm afraid I have no knowledge of where she went after that. Why have you hidden this until now? I did not wish to cause more trouble for Mystic Maya. However, I must correct falsities when they arise.
That's right. She is simply correcting a falsity, Mr. Phoenix Wright.
Why is she making a point to take a stab at me? Never mind.
Mr. Wright, your cross-examination, please.
My aunt is a very smart and sly person. It's going to be hard for us to find a crack in her testimony.
Just now you said those two. Who were the two people you were referring to?
I was referring to that foreign lady and yourself, good sir.
Lara's not a foreigner, despite how she talks.
Oh, is that so? I'm sorry. I simply could not understand her atrocious English, not to mention she looked awful.
I can already see people in the Heartland gearing up for a riot. Grab your pitches and torch forks, or whatever the hell they are called.
In any case, I have already sent the repair bill to your office, Mr. Wright.
Oh, thanks.
If Edgeworth were here, I could persuade him to pay for it.
What did you do after that, Miss Faye?
Was it really necessary to have two people do something so simple as call the police? If there was a possibility of escape, then one of us should have stayed behind.
Yes, that is a very good point.
At that time, I myself was a little confused. On top of which, there was another...
Another what, madam?
Oh, it's nothing. No need to concern yourself.
I want to hear the end of that sentence. There was another reason you wanted both of us out of the room, wasn't there? You must testify. Why did you chase us out of the room? You are allowed to refuse to testify or answer a question in court if you incriminate yourself with something. So really, if she refuses to answer that, we have reason to believe she did something wrong? So really, she's kind of fucked both ways.
I simply did not wish for there to be more victims. The lives of both the good sir and that camera woman may be in danger, is what I thought to myself.
Well, that was very noble of you, Miss Faye.
This is bad. Now people have a good impression of her and a bad one of us. Why would they have a bad one of you? I don't get this game. I don't get its logic.
Looks like she caught us napping. That's my aunt for you.
Are you satisfied now, Mr. Wright? Miss Faye, please continue.
During our investigation, you stated that you struck the defendant on the head, and this strike caused Maya to lose consciousness. Do you stand by this statement?
I'm afraid I don't. The statement I gave you was a lie.
And she technically can't get into trouble with that since that was a verbal statement and she was not really told that anything you say can or would be held against her. Since it wasn't anything official. But why would you lie about something like that?
It is very painful for me to say this, however...
The witness was lying to cover for the defendant.
She was covering for Maya?
So you were covering for the defendant?
Well, yes. It was only later that I was informed of what had occurred. That the renegade Mystic Maya had done something very unexpected.
Something unexpected? Wait, pray tell, did she... Oh!
This witness didn't and couldn't have seen what happened. If you want to know what this unexpected thing was, there is always later.
Yes, very well.
Why does it suddenly feel like there's a rock in the pit of my stomach?
Now witness, continue with what happened. Was it really that easy for her to escape from you?
I am ashamed to admit to such a thing, however, yes.
But you're physically larger and stronger than the defendant. But if she was channeling the nurse, then she was younger and in probably a fitter condition than Morgan. There's no way she could have escaped from you so easily.
Have you forgotten already, Mr. Phoenix Wright? What about this picture? Remember that at the time, the defendant was not physically Maya Fey.
Ugh!
Growing old is such a mysterious thing. Trust me, I know firsthand.
Basically, Mystic Maya's body was still that of the nurse she had called. But if she had run away, wouldn't you have given chase right away? Well, yes, I would have. However, I just have to say the judge's voice always makes me yawn. You fainted? I became dizzy and then collapsed onto the floor.
How long were you unconscious?
I'm not sure. About 10 minutes, perhaps.
And the defendant almost certainly went somewhere in that time.
Happy? Witness? Elaborate on that point for us.
Is that because you were unconscious? I think so! Why, yes. Great. Well, now what? So, while you were unconscious, you have absolutely no idea where the defendant went? I would think that's obvious, good sir. If that's true, then how can you know for sure that the defendant left the channeling chamber at all?
Now that you mention it, I have to wonder myself.
Yes, the channeling Maya punched Morgan unconscious and then just stayed there and stared at her unconscious body for a while. Because reasons.
It's true that this witness is not able to confirm this. But the key word here is this witness.
What do you mean by that?
It means she has another witness up her sleeve. That's what. Looks like Miss Van Kalma is ready to move on to her next witness.
That's enough. From what I can tell, there is nothing wrong with this witness's testimony.
Except that it was all made up.
And from what she has said, we can establish that Maya Fey did leave the chamber.
No, from what she said, we can establish the fact that Maya Fey had a chance to leave the chamber unnoticed, but we don't know if she actually did. Again, keyword being this witness. I hope this isn't going to come back and bite us in the butt.
Now let's take the next logical step and ask, where did the defendant go after leaving the channeling chamber?
Yes, that is exactly which— Oh!
Be quiet, you! Now then, with the escapee had done what she had gone to speak with a certain person.
She went to speak with someone?
The prosecution calls Miss Eenie Miney, who was sleeping in the side room at the time.
Eenie Miney?
I think you can see where this is headed. Witness, name and occupation. Okay, so my name is, Eenie Miney. I'm, researching, parapsychology stuff at the, university.
What is this parapsychology?
Let's see, it's, I guess most people call it occult stuff.
Even if that's what most people call it, I can't say understand what that means.
Then I suggest you go home and research it yourself.
Yes, sir.
Now then, Miss Miney. After the murder took place, you spoke with the defendant, Maya Fey. Is this correct? I guess. If that's the case, then let's hear your testimony. That is alright, isn't it, Your Honor?
Yes, sir.
For the love of all things good, Your Honor, have some spine! For my sake. You grow your own spine first! like, when the channeling started, I was, like, sleeping in the side room. Like, a little later, someone came into the room, like, really suddenly. It was, like, oh my god, totally my sister. I, like, hadn't seen her in, like, so long. I was so happy in, like, a sad way. My sister, she, like, told me something, like, totally terrible.
Now hold your horses, young lady. You're saying the person that entered was your sister? Don't you mean the defendant Maya Fey?
Really now, Your Honor? Maya Fey was still in the middle of channeling at that time.
Are you saying that the spirit was the spirit's witness's sister?
Yes, Mimi Miney. She was a nurse at Dr. Gray's clinic.
Oh, well, this is...
Witness? Like, yeah? In your testimony you mentioned a terrible thing. Why don't you tell the court what this terrible thing was? I'm sure we'd love to hear about it. Like, do I totally, like, really have to? Of course.
Miss Miney, please.
My sister, like, this is what she said to me. That was no accident. I was drugged with sleeping pills. I was murdered by that person. Count number 5 of this shot. That's why I took my revenge. It's only fair, isn't it, Eni?
She took her revenge? Are you sure that's what she said?
Yes. There, are you satisfied, Your Honor?
I still can't believe it. I can't believe that a spirit would go so far as to use a medium to get revenge.
It is a bit hard to swallow. However, all the evidence and testimonies point to this as the truth. The end.
What do you think, Mr. Wright?
I think this is full of baloney! Oh no, wait, it's actually true. Well, the channeling thing. This testimony just... was it all made up? Was it just one huge lie? Of course it was! Of course it was, Phoenix. At least Mia has some brains next to her boobs. Mia? What do you mean? It's well constructed, but that's all it is. But even the most well-spun lies can be undone. We can do it, Phoenix. Let's find that one loose thread and unwind this tapestry of lies. Your Honor, there is room for doubt, so the defense will cross-examine this witness. We believe that our cross-examination will reveal the real truth behind this murder. Yet again, the foolish fool spouts out more foolishly foolish rabble. I wonder if you'll make this one more entertaining than the last one. Was that because of your, sesame allergy, was it? Like, that's right. I, think there were sesame seeds, in the lunch they served that day. I had this, premonition I was going to totally be a seedy day. Hilarious? Yes, indeed.
I see.
Am I the only one who missed the boat here?
Anyway, so were you taking a nap? Did something happen while you were sleeping?
Maybe a little before 11 AM? Something like that, I think.
11 AM?
Yeah, my stomach is totally ready for, food. Oh, no, I think you misunderstood me. I'm not asking what time it is now. I meant what time was it when someone came into your room?
Oh, so, like, that's what you meant. Like, you should have been more, like, clear about it.
Sorry. My bad.
No, it's okay. Like, it's really...
Why'd you stop mid-sentence? Hey, this certainly seems familiar.
Did I? So, like, what was I talking about again?
Never mind.
Witness about this person who entered the side room.
Are you absolutely sure?
I guess?
You guess? Was it or was it not your sister who entered?
Like, I don't know. I mean, like, I totally don't know your sister at all, Mr. Smith.
First off, my name is not Mr. Smith. Second, I'm an only child. But more than that, she's managed to mess up the question with her own answer.
Well, Mr. Wright?
The defense rests.
Well, that was a colossal waste of time. Now then, witness, how did you feel when you saw Miss Mimi Miney?
You were happy in a sad way?
Yeah, like, I mean, it was my sister.
But wouldn't most people react here with surprise at seeing a dead loved one alive again?
But, like, maybe if it was, like, someone who didn't know about, like, the occult. But I, like, know all about the Kurine channeling technique. The point here is the witness immediately recognized that it was her sister. Yeah, like what she said.
Should I drop this line of questioning? Never! So you really didn't think anything strange of the whole encounter?
No. Like, there wasn't any reason for me to, like, think anything was strange.
But... Ow!
Don't keep badgering her.
You know the phrase objection? Could you try using that once in a while?
She did! Plenty of times already.
This question what the witness felt when she saw his sister, is it really that important?
No, it's nothing, of course it's important. It is very important, although I haven't quite figured out what it is yet. But I've got to bluff and make it look like I know what I'm talking about. How's that any different to how you do all your other cases?
Alright. Mr. Wright, Miss Miani, please amend your testimony.
Like, okay, I'm, like, totally cool with that.
That was a very well-spun lie, Miss Amy.
What are you babbling about this time, Mr. Phoenix Wright?
It's well constructed, but that's all it is. Stealing my lines now, are we, Phoenix? Miss Miney, may I remind you of what you said? You said that there was nothing strange about your sister's appearance.
Well, like, yeah, and?
But I don't really think you thought that at all. Take a look at this picture. This is a picture of the sister you met. I would think that even you would be surprised if one like this appeared before you.
The blood spray.
Miss Miney, why did you not include the blood you saw in your testimony? Maybe her sister was well known for bleeding from her boobs? If you're really testifying and not lying, you would have nailed it right off the bat.
Order! Order! Miss Miney! What is the meaning of this? Miss Miney?
I'm thinking! Don't interrupt me!
Aye!
And what are you stammering about, Your Honor?
Well,
That witness, her personality did a complete 180 there.
Lots of people do that when they get on the stand, though.
First of all, calm yourself down, witness. I'm sorry. I, didn't mean to snap. Now, hurry up with the testimony.
If you please.
The judge still looks a little shaken up. A lot of help he's gonna be.
The side room was, kinda dark, you know? So, the costume is, purple, right? The blood totally blended right in.
Even on the part that's kind of a lighter cream lilac shade.
Sure. And I, persuaded my sister it wasn't, right to do something like that. And then, I took my sister to the channeling chamber.
Yes, now I see. And you have given us a clear reason for why you didn't notice the blood.
If she was taking her to the channeling chamber, she would have been out in the open. She might have noticed the blood.
You think? Thanks, Gramps!
Are you satisfied, Mr. Wright?
Never!
Alright, I guess not. Very well, you may question the witness.
Really? Because I thought it was pretty bright inside that room.
Don't push your subjective opinions onto this court, but every other witness does! That's right.
Excuse me, but how is my statement any more subjective than Miss Miney's?
You are such a hopeless cause. Witness, you may feel free to ignore this trite little man. Okay.
Can't breathe. Let me out of here. You didn't see the blood?
Yeah.
But she must have had the gun with her at that time as well.
That's,
Are you going to tell me next that you didn't notice the gun either?
I, totally didn't. All I was looking at was, her face. Continue.
And what was your sister, Miss Mimi Miney, like at the time?
Well, she was, totally flipped out because she just shot Dr. Gray. But I think, she knew. She, said she did something really bad. And, she said she wanted to go with me to, apologize to Miss Morgan.
Did Mimi Spread really say all that to you?
Yeah.
Was your sister calm by that time?
I guess so. I guess maybe, taking her revenge on Dr. Gray, made her feel a lot better. I'd like to feel a lot better too, Mr. Phoenix Wright. The sooner the better.
She says with the whip at the ready.
And, Miss Morgan was the only one in the channeling chamber, you know?
May I ask you one more thing, Miss Miney?
Sure.
Was there anything you found strange, unusual, or just out of place?
Something out of place? Huh? When do you mean?
When? When you... I'm talking about when you were going to the channeling chamber, of course.
No, nothing strange.
She answered rather quickly. Now what? Think harder. I know you can remember something.
I, totally can't.
That's not good enough. You have to explain yourself clearly to this court.
Do you think, Mr. Wright, that whether or not there was something out on the way to the channeling chamber is all that important?
I ask because it is very important. Not that I know where I'm going with this.
Very well. Miss Miney, if you will, please include a statement about this in your testimony.
Like, I don't get why, but okay. I finally found the fault, or I guess in your case, the crack in your perfect lie. Oh, Mr. Wright, you so funny. Take a look at this urn. Like, urn? There are cracks. Do you see them? So, like, what does it prove? Who cares about some worn-out old urn? Like, yeah. I already, said I didn't see, anyone on the way to the chain link chamber. I didn't, totally say anything about, an urn, did I? It looks like you still don't understand. I propose that if you had really been walking along the winding way at that time, there was no way you could not have seen this person. I'd like to introduce someone to you. This is Miss Morgan Fay's daughter, Pearl Fay.
Yes, how is this child relevant?
Why is Morgan not yelling, "How dare you have a picture of my daughter"? It just so happens that at the time of the murder, Pearl was playing in the center garden.
Oh?
And she just happened to break this urn.
Shh! You weren't supposed to tell anyone! Stupid Phoenix!
Oh? Oh!
Wait! She broke the urn?
Yep, she accidentally knocked it over with her ball. And Pearl was the one who put it back together, while sitting right in the middle of the winding way. Did I just see a ghost? Miss Miney. Pearl was there in the winding way at that time. She was hard at work putting the pieces of the urn back together, you see. If you couldn't see that while you were walking, I'd have to declare you legally blind. You know, Phoenix, there is a type of legally blind. Doesn't mean that you're actually blind, that you are legally blind, that you may be able to see something, but in terms of legal, you are considered blind and incapable of doing certain things. Look it up. I think I have sufficiently proven one thing, Miss Miney. You are a masterful liar.
Mr. Wright, you need to watch what you say.
The one who needs to watch what she's saying is the witness. So, Miss Miney, tell us the truth.
About what?
About what? About where you really were at the time of the murder, of course.
The witness just testified about that. That's right. I was, sleeping in the side room.
Can I really believe her? Was she really sleeping in the side room? Once again, like in Skyward Sword, I'm asking why the hell bother giving me a dialogue option here to pick if there's really no choice in picking them. Your lies end here. What do you... The witness says that during the actual murder, she was asleep in the side room. And I say that's not possible because there's clearly a contradiction there.
A contradiction? Where's this contradiction?
I am Phoenix. I lack balls. I may have overreached on this one. Is there really a contradiction somewhere?
Don't worry, you're on the right path, Phoenix. It might be a little hard for you to see the contradiction, but it's there. So, just this once, do you want me to help you out?
I am Phoenix. I lack balls to do things on my own, you have to tell me.
I need your help right now, please! Hold on. First, calm down, Phoenix. Good. That girl, she slipped up with her words.
Her words?
If she really was in the side room the entire time, then she just testified about something she shouldn't have any knowledge of.
And what is that?
The rest is for you to figure out on your own.
And people complain that Fee's talking is pointless. I think I just wasted time talking to Mia. And I never thought I'd wasted my time talking to Fee. The witness says that during the actual murder she was asleep in the side room. And I'd say that's not possible, the clarity contradiction, back to this part. Early in your testimony, Asmani, you made the following statement. And, like, Miss Morgan was the only one in the chain-link chamber, you know? It's true that at the time, both myself and Miss Hart were not there. We had gone to call the police. So? Like, what does that, like, have to do with anything? It's very simple. Miss Miney, how did you know that fact? How? I can see that Miss Fay was the only person in the chain-link chamber. However, someone who was asleep in the side room could not have known that. Which means, Miss Miney, you did in fact go to the chain-link chamber. However, you didn't go there by way of the winding way. I wish my beret was that flexible in pulling.
If one were to go between the side room and the chain-link chamber, one would have to use the winding way.
Yes, that's right, Your Honor. Which is why I asked this very important question. Where was the witness at the time of the murder? Miss Miney, please answer the question. Don't ask a question off of basis assumption, if you please. Well, I suppose since you've put it out on the table, Mr. Phoenix Wright, you might as well answer the question for us. Where was the witness at the time of the murder? Now's your chance, Phoenix. Yeah. The only person who could have killed Dr. Gray was Eenie Miney. So now is the time to prove it.
Now then, Mr. Wright, let's hear your answer. Where was the witness when the murder took place?
Miss Miney was here, of course.
But that's the channeling chamber.
Isn't that the crime scene? Miss Miney was at the scene of the crime.
Order! Order! That's... Well, oh!
Mr. Phoenix Wright, have you lost your mind? Yesterday's testimony established that only the victim and the defendant were in the chamber when the channeling started.
Yes, that is correct. Please explain yourself, Mr. Wright.
Simple. Miss Eenie Miney was hiding at the scene of the crime. I was hiding? Where? Like, where was I hiding? Here, of course.
Behind the folding screen? Hey!
Don't make me say this again. Recall yesterday's testimony. There ain't no way anyone was hanging out behind the folding screen. See? Stupid jerk. Quit being so quick to pin it on me, slimeball.
Now, Miss Miney, one so young as you shouldn't be saying...
Shut it, Gramps! Have you know exactly how old I am?
I'm sorry.
Looks like the pipe's about to burst. Guess I should help it along. The witness was hiding behind the folding screen, with the help of this. Miss Miney, how you were able to hide at the scene of the crime is very simple. You were hiding inside this box. That tiny little box, no person could fit in that. Sorry, but your theory has already been disproven. Outside of court, by accident, and never really mentioned. Lotta disproved it when she was hiding from me in it. But that clothing box was in the side room, right? Which means it has nothing to do with the murder at all. That's right, I was, like, sleeping there, so I should know. The clothing box was there in the side room the whole time.
Mr. Wright? Do you think you can prove where the clothing box was at the time of the crime?
And now I present the piece of evidence that will prove this clothing box was at the scene of the crime when the murder took place. do I have to present the folding screen or the box itself? Take a look at this clothing box. You're so stupid, as if there's any sort of evidence in that old thing.
This... what on earth?
I don't have time for you to sit there surprised. Hurry up and say it already.
There's a hole, about 8 inches off the ground.
A hole about 8 inches off the ground. Where have we heard that before? The folding screen had a hole at the same height. That's right. I hope this has opened your eyes to what happened. At the time of the shooting, the clothing box was sitting behind the folding screen, which is why the bullet from the pistol hit both the box and the folding screen. It went through the screen and then into the box. Has anybody opened the box and looked for the bullet in there? Unless it went entirely through the box as well and was stuck in a wall. Miss Miney, you were hiding behind the folding screen waiting for your chance. For your chance to kill Dr. Gray.
Order! So, what are you saying?
Then, Mr. Phoenix Wright, what about this picture? Are you saying that the person in this photo is Miss Eeny Miney?
That is exactly what I'm saying. Miss Eeny Miney, you were hiding inside this clothing box all along. And you wore a medium's costume to masquerade as Maya Fey.
To masquerade as Maya Fey?
She had a plan from the very beginning. She would kill Dr. Gray and pin the blame on my client.
No, stop. I can't stand to listen any more of this foolishness. If that's the case, Mr. Phoenix Wright, then I have a proposition. This whole idea that the witness moved the clothing box to the crime scene, pretending to be the defendant, killing the victim, and then fleeing the scene of the crime. It's not possible for one person to do all that by herself.
It really is impossible. For one person to do all the preparations, that is.
Ow! Need I remind you the foolish receive no mercy?
Wait. Miss Von Karma, you said it was not possible for one person, correct?
What? You can't be serious.
Miss Miney, you had an accomplice.
This person?
If it wasn't someone from Kurang Village, you couldn't have gotten the costume. And if it wasn't someone from the Fey household, you wouldn't have had that box to use.
Morgan Fey?
Isn't that the wonderful lady witness we had earlier?
What do you have to say to this, Miss Miney? You shot Dr. Gray with your own 2 hands. Do you deny it? Why do they overreact so much? I think this is what really happened. By the way, remember this theme, it's going to be important later. The murderer had planted herself at the scene of the crime long beforehand. Dressed in a medium's costume and wearing a wig, she pretended to be the defendant. And then the channeling started. The murderer crept silently towards the other 2, both of whom had their eyes closed. First, she drugged Maya Fey with a strong sleeping agent. Then, she stabbed Dr. Gray with a knife. She's not wearing a wig! Next, she hid my client inside the clothing box. She did that so she could take Maya's place and frame her for the crime. But that's when something unexpected happened. Yeah, I'm wondering. Why was she not wearing the wig right away? And why did she not move Maya's body and then stabbed?
Unexpected?
Yes. Dr. Gray was actually not yet dead. With the last of his strength, he fired a shot at his attacker. And that is why the hole in the folding screen was so low to the ground. Sure. I will point out some possible explanations for problems, but whatever. The murderer then took the gun from Dr. Gray, and...
After that, you and the other lady thought to break into the room?
Yes, a gunshot is certainly something you wouldn't expect to hear. Which is why upon hearing the shots, we forced our way into the chain link chamber. Miss Miney, she immediately covered her own costume with blood. Considering she stabbed him, you'd think that her costume had already blood on it. And pretended to be Maya Fey. But that sort of deception would have been easy to see through. Which is precisely why Miss Morgan Fey chased us out. That was wrong. Please leave this area to me. Go quickly and inform the police. Hurry, before there are more victims here.
What is one supposed to say?
This is the real truth behind this murder.
Who's that laughing at a time like this?
The defendant, she's standing right in front of you. Not the defendant, the fucking witness. What is this time?
Miss Von Karma, surely...
Of course it was me. Okay, I was wrong. Do you really think someone of Von Karma blood would lose due to something this petty? What in the world?! Mr. Phoenix Wright, your argument is flawed in one very crucial area. And that is? If this witness is the real murderer, why would she go through all this trouble? Huh? Working together with a medium, pretending to be one, putting on this whole act? What reason would she have to do such foolish things? Well, it's, Yeah, that's right. That's exactly what I was gonna say. And one other thing. Why would Miss Eenie Miney want to kill Dr. Gray? Where is her motive? Yeah, that's exactly what I wanted to say too. Yeah, motive? I don't have a motive. A motive? I can't say she has no motive here. I have to think of a motive. What is her reason for wanting Dr. Gray dead? The reason you want Dr. Gray dead is... Well, it is about the accident. Or let's check the rest. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's this one. Just as I thought. You bore me with your silly answers, Phoenix Wright. Just great. No, even she is calling me by my full name. You think I did this to get revenge for my sister's death? Yes. Because through that accident, you suffered a lot of hurt and pain yourself. Don't be stupid. No one has proof that Dr. Gray drugged my sister, right? And you want to say I wanted to take a revenge based on nothing?
What do you mean by that?
See now, stupid Gramps. I'm, going to explain, so, please listen, okay? It's been over half a year since I was discharged from the hospital. If I, wanted revenge, then, I wouldn't have waited this long. And besides, the guy that thought the spirit thing was, Dr. Gray. It was, a total coincidence he asked me about it, you know? She's back to her airhead self. Ow! Pathetic, Mr. Phoenix Wright. You fail to support your own theory. The end.
I think we have our answer, Mr. Phoenix Wright. What Miss Miney has stated is very true. The revenge plan is overly complicated, and she has no motive in the first place. Furthermore, there's no reason for Miss Morgan Fay to cooperate with this plan. You don't even have any truly decisive pieces of evidence to demonstrate your point.
So many thoughts, Mr. Phoenix Wright. You should really learn your place. What happened? I thought I had her for sure.
See? Like, that's what I, told you.
Huh?
I'm going to serve you a slice of humble pie.
Very well, I now conclude the cross-examination of Miss Eenie Miney.
Your Honor, please allow the defense one more minute.
Alright.
You can't lose here. Have faith in yourself, Phoenix.
Yeah.
Yes, it does sound like a ridiculously messed up plan for a murder. But, you know, regardless, that girl trained for this crime. Really? Listen, Phoenix. Everything happens for a reason. There is a reason for why she had to kill Dr. Gray. And it is also the reason she had no choice but to kill him in this fashion.
Time is up, Mr. Wright. Your final answer, please. If you want to say that you can prove Miss Miney had a motive, then why did you kill the victim in this way? Can you provide the reason?
Can I really do this? Yes? I'm not totally confident here, but I know that I must press on no matter what. That's right, Phoenix. Only you can do this now. I will show and substantiate the fact that Miss Miney had a motive.
Too bad. You're too late. My cross-examination has already ended after all.
Eee!
Interesting. I'll let you have your chance, Mr. Phoenix Wright.
What? You're supposed to be on my side!
Elfin Karma only cares about the perfect win. As long as you have the will to fight, I will knock you down, Mr. Phoenix Wright. And I don't care if you are my witness, so help me, I will blow you out of my way. No way.
Very well. The court will take a 5-minute recess. We will continue the cross-examination after we reconvene.
Hey, wait a second here!
Is it really true about my aunt?
I'm afraid so, Maya. There's no way Amy could have killed Dr. Gray by herself. And under the circumstances, there's no one else other than your aunt, Morgan.
That's terrible. Why would my aunt...
Everything is going just as I predicted. Oh, wrong voice. Sorry.
Miss Von Karma! Why are you doing this? Why are you trying to take revenge on Nick? Nick had nothing to do with what happened to your dad.
Don't you have something better to be worrying about? Say, your own situation.
Ugh. Looking down on me even though we're the same age.
Are you done yet? You've caused me enough pain and suffering.
I am so much more important at this point. Me! Not yet. My goal is to defeat you and let the whole world know of your defeat.
But even if you do that, it won't bring your father back.
Whatever. In the meantime, let's bring this match to its conclusion. And then we'll know who the real winner is.
Court will now reconvene. Mr. Wright?
Yes, Your Honor?
Can you prove Miss Eenie Miney had a motive?
Yes, I believe I can. Eenie Miney and Dr. Gray have only one point of connection, and that is the car accident 1 year ago. The motive I'm looking for must be there. Plastic surgery! I'm trying to slap Phoenix's forehead!
Huh? I thought, you wanted to, ask about my, motive. I, don't see the point in, bringing up the past.
Miss Miney, if you please.
Okay, like, I totally don't think I'll do any good, but... That was, like, last year in May. Like, something really bad had happened at, like, my sister's clinic around then. And, like, the night of the accident, my sis was totally tired while she was driving. I was, like, totally pooped too, so I, like, fell asleep in the passenger seat. I, like, woke up because of a jolt, and, like, it was a sea of flames around me. I, like, opened the door and, like, got away.
I think I've heard of this incident.
It was all the talk on the tabloid shows day after day last year.
Yes, and there was talk about Dr. Gray drugging your sister. Ugh!
Those were merely rumors. Totally baseless gossip.
Yes, Mr. Wright, you may question the witness.
Right now, it's impossible to prove that Dr. Gray did, in fact, drug Miss Miney's sister. Which means I'll have to work this from another angle. Didn't some sort of medical malpractice happen at your sister's hospital then? Yeah, like, that was in May too. Like, the thing with all the patients dying was, like, May 2nd. And, like, our accident was, like, on the 24th. My sis was, like, totally tired, so that's why, duh. That was a malpractice incident where 14 patients died, correct? Yeah. What was the cause of the mistake? Like, I heard it was 'cause the medicines, like, got mixed up. Was that the fault of your sister, Meanie Miney? Like, no way! Dr. Gray, like, wanted to blame it on my sis. That incident has nothing to do with our murder here. Besides, the police report has already documented that it was entirely Mimi Miney's fault. Which means, as far as the real facts are concerned, Mimi Miney is the one who made the mistake. But, like, it really wasn't my sis. She was totally tired? You mean exhausted? Like, she had to talk to the police and, like, was being investigated, like, every day. It was, like, a totally terrible situation. It's no wonder then that the car accident happened, huh? So then, why didn't you ask to switch places? Huh? Like, what are you talking about? I meant switch drivers. If your sister was so tired, then you should have switched with her.
True, true.
But, like, I don't, like, have a driver's license. This is news to me. I was not aware you didn't have your license, Miss Miney. Does it matter? I mean, overall, for a witness? Like, okay. Anyway. There it is. Miss Miney, that was a lame lie just now. Like, what do you mean? I know you had a license back then. This is a photo you took for the express purpose of getting a driver's license.
What is the meaning of this, Miss Miney?
That's right. Yeah, I had, like, a license, but I didn't get it until after the accident. No, you had it. You had it at the time of the accident. Director Hottie, or the guy pretending to be him anyway, said so. Yeah, this guy who pretends to be somebody he obviously isn't and doesn't have any proper certification to be, is definitely somebody I should trust in saying that a witness did or did not have something. What are you talking about? That pervert fake clinic director? Yeah, that perverted fake clinic director. How'd you— Ow! No one cares. Witness, when did you receive your driver's license? Like, last November. What? November? The accident happened last May. That's a half-year lapse in time, Mr. Phoenix Wright. What in the—
That's what happened, Mr. Wright. At the time of the accident, Miss Miney did not have a driver's license.
Ow! Cry and my whip will accommodate.
Anyway, without a license, the witness and his sister could not switch drivers.
I'm, like, glad you get it, but, like, even if I had my license, I, like, don't think my sis woulda, like, let me drive. Ow! Don't just stand there to yourself. Not you too, Mia, with the whip, and the pain, and the ow. Miss Miney, why do you think you would not have been allowed to drive anyway? Huh? That's because—
I think the situation calls for more detailed testimony. Miss Miney, if you please.
Like, how annoying. Oops, like, sorry, didn't mean to be mean. Like, around that time, I was, like, really close to getting my license. My sis was, like, this totally big fan of cars and, like, really valued them. She, like, had just gotten this really shiny, bright red sports car. She, like, would say things like, "No way am I letting a noob drive my car." So, like, that's why I ended up in the passenger seat that night, too.
I see. A bright red car for sports. Now then, the defense may question the witness.
I'm not terribly knowledgeable about cars, but— So, what do you mean by really close? Like, I had one of those permit things. I think that's what they're called. Permit? Wow, the big-name lawyer boy doesn't even know what a driver's permit is. Well, this lawyer never had a permit. Ow! Ignorance is to be whipped. I think I will turn that into my signature in one of my forms. What is with her? All she said in the last few minutes is utter nonsense. So, like, may I continue? She valued cars? How much would she say she valued her car? Well, like, she'd flip out at, like, a drop of rain. And, like, she would notice someone, like, touched the car door with dirty hands. Rain shouldn't bother her unless she had cheap-ass paint on it that peeled off when it rained. But otherwise, she has no reason to complain. In that case, what about taking the car at the garage ever? Why did you take such a special care of the car? How can you say that it was a brand spanking new car? New car? Like, you wouldn't want to, like, get it dirty, would you, Mr. Lawyer? I would think that cars getting dirty is just another fact of life, but I guess people who really love cars think otherwise. Phoenix, try ask something more significant, okay?
Well, Miss Miney, what kind of car was it?
Yeah, she had, like, just gotten it. It was, like, from the UK.
The UK? Was that her boyfriend's initials?
And it was a really special model. She had waited for a whole year for it to arrive. I guess her love of cars would be the obvious next topic. But I really don't know anything about cars. But I had a feeling this was bound to come up. Your Honor,
Yes?
please append what the witness has just said about to her testimony.
You mean the part of it being a special car from overseas?
Yes.
Well, if you like cars that much...
That's not my point! Though, to be honest, I don't know what the point is either.
Miss Miney, would you please fix your testimony?
Sure, whatever. I yelled, "Hold it!" pretty much forcefully, but I don't actually know what to ask about cars. Why not? So, yeah, what am I supposed to pick for a topic? Let's start with this. Why are British cars good? Like, huh? Well, they're expensive, and the driver's seat is opposite to our cars here in the States. It would seem there's no benefit to owning one. Like, huh? This whole steering wheel on the right side thing, it's kind of goofy, isn't it? You? What do you know? That sleek shape, the the way it starts! Sorry, forgive me. Her personality really changes at the drop of a hat. It's interesting, isn't it, Phoenix? Bit by bit, we're beginning to see the real contradiction behind this case. Miss Miney, do you remember this article? It's an article about the accident. You had said this in it. But I opened the right door and, like, got out. That's correct, isn't it? Like, why are you suddenly asking me about that? Your Honor, which side is the passenger seat? The left or the right?
Well, it's on the right side, of course, because the driver's on the left side.
That would be if it were an American car, but it would be opposite in a British car. This is where the changes in the Japanese version of cars have the steering wheel on the right side, so in the Japanese version it was an American car.
Opposite?
The two of them were riding in a British car. In that case, the passenger side would be the left side.
What do you mean by this?
Miss Miney, you said that you escaped using the right side door of the car. But if you were sitting there, then that means you were in the driver's seat. Mr. Phoenix Wright is blabbering nonsense again. Eni said the person who was driving was her older sister, Mimi Miney. That is what Eni said, yes, but that is where her story falls apart. Somewhere, all of us made a big error in our assumptions. Phoenix, it looks like you finally found the real root of this murder. If we connect all the dots, there can only be one answer. I'd like to ask the court a question. Eni or Mimi? Who was really driving that night? The answer is the one person who had her driver's license, Mimi Miney. The way I understood it in American law and similar, if you have a learner's permit, licensed learner permit for driving a car, you are allowed to drive the car if somebody with a valid license is in the car with you. I'm just saying, so technically, Eni would have been sort of legally allowed to drive the car. After all, that makes her the only person who could legally drive.
But you just said the witness, Miss Eni Miney, was one in the driver's seat.
Which leads us to the next question.
Next question?
Who is the person standing on the witness stand right now? What sort of idiotic ruse is this, Mr. Phoenix Wright? This witness's name is... I'll tell you what her name really is. Oh my god, it's half of my life bar. That is like so big. Mimi Miney, that is your real name. Objection! Of all the foolish dribble! Then how do you explain her appearance? When she was admitted into the hospital, this witness was suffering severe facial burns. So for the purpose of facial reconstruction, they used a picture.
Facial reconstruction surgery?
This is the picture she gave to her doctors at the time. That's right. It's a picture of her younger sister.
But Mimi Miney, she died in the car accident.
That's what everyone thought. However, that was not the case.
Then, the body found at the crash site.
That was the body of the real Eenie Miney. Isn't that right, Miss Mimi Miney? May I just point out? Yes, Eenie is, the airhead face here. But even with the facial reconstruction surgeries, he still looks an awful lot like Mimi. So really? It's not that much of a jump. That car accident 1 year ago, the one who died that night was Eenie Miney. Her sister Mimi then stole her face, and was reborn as Eenie. With this, she effectively erased Mimi Miney from existence. Sometimes I really hate the pun names. Your Honor, I'm sure you can now see why Mimi had to kill Dr. Gray.
What do you mean? Oh!
What is the meaning of this nonsense?
Dr. Gray wanted to call back the spirit of a dead person. Specifically, the spirit of his nurse that died in the car crash, Mimi Miney. But that would not have been possible, because Mimi Miney was still in fact alive. And that fact would have been discovered had the channeling been conducted. So this witness had to stop that from happening. At all costs.
And that's why she had to kill Dr. Turner Gray? Is that what you're saying?
Actually, not really. What she could have done was drug Maya, and then take her place, and be all, "Hello, Dr. Turner Gray. You stupid woman, I want you to sign this signed confession." Very well. And then he disappears, Maya wakes up, and she might think the channeling was different from usual, but the client was happy. I'm just saying, overall the murder didn't really have to happen, but the rest of the murder we can totally blame on Morgan. Before the channeling, Dr. Gray had the misfortune of consulting this witness about communicating with the dead. And in that moment, his fate was sealed.
Well, Miss Fugaz.
Why did you say my name just now?
Looks like I've been unmasked.
Witness?
Oh, I'm supposed to feel so sorry for you. That's right, I admit it. My real name is Mimi Miney. That quack doctor, he got what he deserved in the end. And I was so close to finally ditching Mimi, too. So close.
But why? Why would you go so far to throw away yourself? To become your own sister?
I think I understand why. Mimi Miney wanted herself to disappear because of this. Oh, the take that just enhances the mood.
That's about the malpractice incident.
Dr. Gray was right. The mistake was caused by the nurse. A nurse by the name of Mimi Miney. That's right, the person standing before us today. And a few weeks after this mishap, Mimi Miney had a car accident in which she lost her younger sister.
The timing couldn't have been worse.
14 patients dying in that incident, and her own sister's life extinguished. It was all too much to bear. I found a way for myself to escape it all. The only way. She lost everything in the flames of that accident. Her sister, and even her own face. This was her last chance. Her chance to throw away her past and start a new life as her sister. You're a weak person, not being able to continue your life with the flaws and mistakes you had done in the past. You weak person. You deserve to go to jail for this. You're not sympathetic at all.
Unbelievable. A plan beyond my wildest imagination.
That jerk. If only I hadn't thought of that channeling mumbo-jumbo. Mumbo-jumbo? Becoming Eni has been the most horrible experience in the world. Spirit channeling. The occult. I hate it. I hate it all. Then why the hell did you pick that? You know, maybe Eni. Fuck it, whichever one it was. Maybe she was in parapsychology in college, but she could have changed her major. She could have changed it to business. Or florist. Anything, if it keeps her away from this stuff, if she hates it.
Why did you set a murderous revenge plot into motion? And why did Miss Morgan Fay agree to help you with the plan? Regardless, I believe one thing has been made crystal clear.
The innocence of the defendant, Maya Fay. This is preposterous! I'm perfect! Me, Franziska von Kalmar. I'm going to enjoy the news today, Miss von Kalmar. How about you? It's going to be broadcast all over the world, right? Your defeat, that is. Ow! Ooh, ow! Ow, 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 ow! Oh. And one more for good measure! Phoenix? Phoenix, hang in there! Phoenix! This card is a fraud! A sham!
Now then, it looks like it will be some time before Mr. Wright regains consciousness. So we'll go ahead and pronounce the verdict. That is all. This court is adjourned.
Congratulations, Maya. Sis! I would feel very uncomfortable shoving my face into her boobs. That's my sister, man! It's good to see you, Maya. How are you doing?
Sis, I didn't kill anyone, did I?
No, you didn't. It was all just a dream. A really bad dream.
You know, sis, in my dream, I smelled a really familiar scent.
A familiar scent?
I was inside the clothing box, right? That box. That was the box you used to store your clothes in a long time ago.
That's right. There's still one thing I don't quite get. What's that? What would have happened if Mimi hadn't shot Dr. Gray? I mean, we broke in because we heard a gunshot. I think Mimi Miney had planned to open the door to Chamber's Edges. And then you and Lotta would have witnessed quite a scene. A possessed Maya Fay who had just committed a murder. She had it planned down to the smallest detail, huh?
Nick!
Congrats, Maya.
Thanks! Looks like you bailed me out of another jam.
Well, you know...
But... I really don't want something like this to happen ever again. I'm fine because I have you to help me out, Nick. But every time something happens, I lose someone special to me. First my sister, now my aunt. Hey Nick, tell me why my aunt went and did something so horrible. Why would you help Miss Mimi with a plan like that? I just don't understand it, Nick.
Maya, it's over. Why don't we just let it be? No, Phoenix, people need reasons. They need reasons why something happened so they can process it and get over it.
Nick, please, I need an answer.
The reason Morgan helped Mimi with her plan. Pearl?
Pearly?
4 years from now, a new master will be born into Kurang village. And that person will be you, Maya.
And?
But if you weren't there, then the main family's bloodline would disappear. And what would happen then?
The Branch family, my aunt.
No, Morgan's spiritual power is too weak. The next person would be Pearl's. Everything was done for her sake. It was also that Pearl's would become the next master.
Yeah, I could see that.
Did Maya say something just now? I think that she was saying, I thought so? My precious Pearl, you are the only one suitable to be the master of Kurang, dear child. I sacrificed it all for you. I helped that brainless nurse carry out her murder, and cooperated with that whip-happy prosecutor. It was all to unseat that annoying, witless main family girl. That Maya Fey. But I shall be patient, my dearest Pearl. A chance will present itself. Your time will come. In the next game. That was the second case. Now, some things are of course questioned. If Maya was not in the box at the time of the first gunshot, how did it hit her sleeve? That I can say is probably that Mimi had opened the box and was picking Maya up just as the gun was shot, so it's possible that that's how it hit her sleeve. The key could have fallen into the clothing box either through the sleeve hole or simply out of the sleeve into the clothing box, and it got tangled up into the outfit that Mimi was wearing at the time of the channeling. And that's how it ended up in this incinerator when she was going to burn that. So, that's a pretty simple explanation of things. That was the second case of the game. Next is case 2-3, which on many forums I have seen as people's least liked case in the Phoenix trilogy. I'll see you next time.